This week on Martyr's Row.
Were vegans created before the foundations of the earth?
In the beginning, God created tofu?
And Paul here claims to know how old the earth is.
Not as old as your mom.
Aww. Welcome to Martyr's Row. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. Saint Philomena, a virgin devoted unto Christ from her youth, suffered in the persecution under Diocletian. Being of noble birth, she refused the advances of the emperor, declaring that she had already given herself unto a heavenly bridegroom. For this confession she was cast into prison and grievously tormented, being scourged and afterward cast into the waters with an anchor about her neck. Yet the Lord preserved her for a time, and she continued steadfast in faith. At length the tyrant, enraged that neither fear nor suffering could move her, commanded that she be slain with arrows, and so she yielded up her spirit unto God. Thus this young virgin, weak in years, yet strong in faith, overcame the cruelty of princes, and obtained the crown prepared for those who love Christ more than life itself. Anno Domini 304. The Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem was first established in the 4th century under Emperor Constantine, after his mother, Helena, helped identify and honor the site long revered as the place of Jesus' birth. The first basilica rose there in the 300s, and although that earlier structure was later destroyed, the church standing today is largely the 6th century rebuilding commissioned by Emperor Justinian. But what makes the Nativity Church so remarkable is not only who founded it, it is that it never became just a relic. UNESCO identifies it as the oldest Christian church in daily use, and that phrase matters. This is still an active worshiping church, governed under the historic status quo by the Greek Orthodox, Armenian Apostolic, and Roman Catholic communities. Liturgies, daily processions, and prayers still continue there, even in seasons when pilgrims are few. So the story of the Church of the Nativity is not simply that Constantine built it and Justinian restored it. The deeper story is that across 17 centuries of empire conflict and change, a real Christian congregation has never fully gone silent there. The lamps still burn, the clergy still serve, and the church still does what it was built to do: worship Christ.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So my quest was, what is the oldest built, currently still active Christian congregation?
Yeah.
And I the funny thing is, like, because I've been to Israel and I've been to the Church of the Nativity, like when I looked this up, I was like, wait, the church I went to was like burned. But it's this stone structure, and so the inside, like the wood on the inside, has been burned.
Okay.
But the congregation, that's the basilica that was burned.
Oh, wow.
On the inside.
Yeah.
But the congregation of the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem is still an active church.
That's pretty sick.
It is cool. So that what that means is essentially there is a Christian church that is still active in Bethlehem.
Wow.
That was established in the 4th century, or around 300, in the 300s by Helena, who, if you go to Israel, there's churches on holy sites, and Helena's the one that did that.
Oh, that's cool.
Constantine's mom.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It does, and it's also kind of problematic.
Absolutely.
Because they're not exactly...
Constantine's problematic.
Fair. But they're not exactly where you think that they should be. Like the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is this really cool church that has multiple stories to it. It has a bunch of different rooms in it, and in the center of it, on the bottom floor, is said to be where the tomb of Jesus was.
Oh, interesting.
And then the place of the crucifixion.
Mm.
So them being, sorry, not the tomb, but the place of the crucifixion.
Okay.
But the problem is it's inside the gates of the old city.
Oh.
In the old city of Jerusalem. And Roman crucifixion was historically like pretty well documented that people would be crucified outside the city gates. First of all, so that there wouldn't be like rotting corpses inside your city.
Because that would stink.
It would. But secondly, so that when people entered the city, they would have fear of the emperor.
That makes more sense.
Because crucifixion was a false messiah or a false someone who would rise up against the government. It would be their death is how they would die. So it's like,
and
if
they're
you're
showing people coming in, it's like, hey, this is what we do to people who want to cause trouble. Yeah,
like if you're going to rise up against the emperor, if you're going to cause an insurrection, then you're going to be outside the city on a stake. So like that's what crucifixions were. But I thought that was really interesting. So the church of the Nativity in Bethlehem is the longest running church that is still an active congregation, and it's cool because the Greek Orthodox, the Armenian Apostolic, and the Roman Catholic communities all kind of function out of those.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Or they at least share in the buildings themselves. And like if you're ever in the old city, there's there's a market that's actually owned. The property is owned by the Greek Orthodox Church.
Oh, wow.
And so certain times of the day, all the lights shut off and the priests walk through with incense. And it's like kind of creepy if you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like blessing the space.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, actually I think it happens on Saturdays. I think it's only one day a week. But
okay.
But yeah, so the Church of the Nativity. So there's an active Christian Orthodox church in Bethlehem, which is currently a Palestinian, that's like a Palestinian governed area. That is an active Christian church. That is the oldest active Christian church that would date back to Helena and Constantine's mother.
Wow. So
like the Christians in that area have been there basically since the church started.
It's cool to think about that too.
Yeah.
Even just like the richness of that we aren't always aware of.
For sure.
Which we talk about that all the time on this podcast.
Yeah.
But it's like, it dates back a while.
It does. Well, and even
and there's things that are still running.
And it stayed consistent.
Yeah.
So through the generations, like it said 17, right? 17 centuries of empire conflict, and yet that church in Bethlehem remains an active congregation.
Which is amazing that even there it can stay consistent.
For sure.
Yeah.
Through a lot.
What you just said. Yeah. Because there's churches that don't have that in the U.S. that die out, which is sad.
They last half a generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should do better.
Let's step it up. Let's get some conflict. Okay.
So it does help. The church thrives in conflict historically.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, Jesus said that they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then you're probably with them.
Yeah.
Like if you're not suffering for the sake of Christ and being persecuted for being a Christian, then you're probably too conformed to the world to be recognized as a Christ follower.
That cuts deep.
Yeah. It's going to be more relevant in the days to come for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I think everywhere. But yeah, so the oldest church congregation that is active is the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem, in the heart of the world.
And if you're there on a Saturday,
watch out. 3, 2, 1. Granddaddy leaned back in the kitchen chair. Bible on the table, there was dust in the air. Said, boy, there's questions men all fight to know. He said, how old is the dirt? How old is the stone? How long's this world been spinning on? Some count years, some count stars, some read books while some read scars. But whether the days are long or short, it all comes back to the name of the Lord. Oh, 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 oh. And somewhere in the middle of the heat and smoke, people miss the weight of a holy hope. Cause the question ain't just when the world began, it's why God reached out his holy hand. Oh, oh, why God reached out his hand. Oh, why. My granddad said, how old is the dirt? How old is the stone? How long's this world been spinning on? Some count years while some count stars. Some read books while some read scars. Whether the days are long or short, it all comes back to the name of the Lord. Oh, whether the days are long or short, it all comes back to the name of the Lord. Oh, 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 it all comes back to the Lord. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I've become really good at snapping.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, I don't snap with my left hand though. Oh, I do.
Oh. Oh, I can do both.
Both? 3, 2, 1. You get 2 snaps.
That's pretty. It sounds like there's 4 people.
Oh yeah. Well, you stagger them. That's that's kind of fun. Well, and we don't normally wear headphones, so we're hearing it.
What if
differently.
it cuts every time we do that?
That would be awesome. That would be a lot of editing though.
That'd be fun.
So Paul, I think a lot.
That's good.
My brain just keeps going.
Yeah.
And I've
heard that's a good sign.
Of what? Life?
Like your brain.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it still
it's a
functions.
It's a good mental sign.
I've got one brain cell. He's bouncing.
Depends on what time of day it is.
I feel him on different sides of my brain sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, there he is.
But that's a different type of awareness that you would have.
Oh yeah.
So, speaking of one brain cell.
Yeah.
One of the things that I always it always trips me up is there are all these things within like the scientific field,
yeah,
in the theological field, like pretty much in any theoretical field. And I say that because like in the scientific field, there are things that are seemingly concrete that I just fully don't understand. And I feel like every time I look up a description of it, they also can't help me understand. If that like
just trust me, bro.
Well, like one of the main things is something like carbon dating.
Yeah.
Like, so carbon dating is based like it has to be organic material. So like I'm aware of that. Like if you're carbon dating, you can only carbon date organic material.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is like metals it's like impossible for them to carbon date.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is weird because then does that mean metal is not organic material? Like I haven't really thought too much about that.
I have no knowledge to tell you.
Or it's like too dense of organic material. There's
it's too dense. We can't measure it.
It's something like that. I mean, I don't really understand, but so like with carbon dating, people are like, all right, well, we carbon dated it. We sent it to a lab and we did this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then they tell you like it's 50 million years old.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, well, that sounds a little bit like you just stuck it in a machine and then it popped out a number 50 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I don't know if you've done this or not, but I have like rabbit trailed and I don't know why, but I like these videos where people get packs of cards and they open them.
Oh,
and then they do a reveal. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've never seen them, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the process of like doing that, you have some of them that they send them to get graded. So it goes to a company.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it goes to a company and the company grades it. And it's like the main one is like PSA grading. And PSA grading does like a scale from 0 to 10. And 10 is like, that's like what you want.
Super valuable. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like really hard to get a 10 rating.
Okay.
But it's also like there's so many videos of people sending it and they get a 9. And then they break the seal of the thing and they pull it out and they like clean the card. Then they send it back to try and get a 10.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's like you send the same exact card to the same company and you potentially get multiple different grades.
That's fascinating.
So there's like whole videos on YouTube about this. Like people are getting multiple different grades, or they'll be like, let me try to keep sending it back until I get the grade I want.
That's fascinating.
But then like carbon dating, what is that? Like no one is sending back like ancient wood to get it regraded. And if they did and they grade it multiple times, it's probably going to show up multiple different answers.
Yeah, the thing that I've always been curious about that too is like, what are you basing it on?
That's my point.
Yeah.
Like no one really can explain that.
Yeah.
And that's like, what is the baseline?
Yeah.
Because you have to have some type of constant.
Right.
As far as what I know about basic science, there has to be some constant.
Yeah.
But what you're testing is a variable.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're testing it against a constant.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like with rulers, where it's like they have like, oh, this is the standard measurement.
Correct.
And it's locked up in a cage somewhere.
Yeah.
Or like every ruler is based off of this ruler.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's like,
is there an ultimate ruler?
I think there is.
No way.
I think there actually is.
So there's an ultimate ruler out there that every ruler is based off of?
They're just like an inch, but they have it like in a cage somewhere, or like in a glass box.
It's like Fort Knox.
Ooh, that is the inch.
That is the measurement of it. It's like the gold standard. It's like all the gold.
Yeah.
That's actually in Fort Knox, but not really.
But how do we know it's gold? Do we have gold to compare it to? No.
But so there's so many examples now.
What if fool's gold is actually gold? But we've been fooled by it.
Exactly. But that's the thing is like some guy told us something.
Yeah.
And at one point it was kind of true.
Yeah.
But then it was really just that expert. And there's so many of us that we just go like, yeah, I guess that's our standard.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the constant.
Yeah.
But going back to that, what's the constant time? Like, what do they have? Is there an object that scientists have? Somebody answer this for me. Is there an object that scientists have that is the constant that all carbon dating is based against? Because if what you're dating is a variable, then there has to be a constant that it's being dated against, unless that's not how carbon dating works, and then it's not the scientific method.
Yeah.
Unless I'm just wrong, which I probably am.
Very possible. I have no clue.
So all of that being said, I really, really want to figure out what the constant is.
Yeah.
And what science says the constant is for this question.
Okay.
How old is the Earth?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because you feel like if we're dating objects, maybe what the constant is the Earth itself.
Yeah.
Which that would make sense.
But we'd have to know how old it is.
Correct.
Yeah.
So how old is the Earth, Paul?
Oh, that's such a good question. It's funny too, because I feel like there's like you said, there's a lot of different approaches. There's like the scientific approach to it.
Yeah.
There's like the apologetic approach to it.
Right.
And then there's like the theological approach to it, or the philosophical approach.
Yeah.
And it's like all of them trying to answer like the same kind of question.
Right.
And sometimes they're using the same base measurement.
Okay.
But they're pulling out different pieces of data and getting different answers.
Yeah, I mean, and depending on who you are and where you came from and like what your background is and how you're reading the data, it's all got to be slightly different.
Right. Yeah.
So how old is the Earth?
I'd say like 2 days.
2 days?
No. Well, yeah, so it's one of those where...
That's that idea of like, if I was born yesterday.
Yeah.
If I was born yesterday, how old is the Earth?
It is as old as it is right now.
It's a day older than you.
Yeah. I know it was here yesterday.
Yeah.
Or was it?
I was born on the earth, I think. Am I here?
Someone told me that I was born on the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they told me what place on the earth I was born.
Well, we always go back to that philosophical question is like, can you prove that you exist?
Yeah.
And the fact is like you cannot convince anybody that you exist unless you create a standard of measure by which to define existence.
Yeah, and sometimes it gets so strange. It's like have you heard the question like what makes a chair a chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that for me it's that same kind of idea where it's
my favorite one is what makes a sandwich a sandwich.
That is a great question. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I mean, if you want it to be, I have no problem.
If you want it to be.
I have no problem with you calling your hot dog a sandwich. Hey, can you bring my sandwich to me?
You mean this hot dog?
It's my sandwich. Don't tell me what my sandwich is called.
Don't tell me what I can and can't call my glizzies.
Yeah, my hot dog sandwich. Get it over here for me now.
My hot dog sandwich.
But you see, like a hot dog sandwich would be like filleted, like hot dogs.
You have a different picture in your head.
100%.
Yeah.
But bring me my hot dog sandwich. And tell me how old the earth is.
At the same time while you're at it. Well, yeah, so it's interesting because we have like the, it gets pitted against each other, which we've talked about this on another podcast, which is like the evolution and creation, because that's ultimately where this goes to a lot of times. But
sure.
I don't really want to spend any time in there, to be honest, because we're a Bible podcast.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about the Bible.
I like that. And there's plenty of people talking about evolution and all of that stuff.
Yeah. And I honestly, I'm not going to give an opinion one way or the other because I don't know either.
Okay.
And I think as we go through this, we'll kind of see that a little bit. But like for me, the traditional like Bible believer would say like, oh, the earth is 6,000 years old.
Right.
And that's where we're focused on the Bible side.
Actually, somebody the other day was like, hey, isn't today the birthday of the earth? And I said, what? I was like, it like broke my brain for a second. Because I was like,
happy birthday.
You're presupposing so many things.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, wait, where do I even begin in my response to this question?
Well, God created the earth on January 1st.
Well, I think my response...
Year zero.
I think my response was like, if you want it to be...
I guess it could be.
Yeah, happy birthday, Earth. I think, isn't that what Earth Day is? Like
I thought it was supposed to be awareness, like taking care of the earth.
I think so, but I think it's also like maybe a solstice day. I don't know.
That's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know that stuff.
So then, where should we begin, Paul?
Well, let's start in the beginning.
Okay.
What?
Good spot.
Yeah. Well, so what I want to say first, because I want to make all the 6,000 Bible believers
that's
angry
right.
first. That's what I like to do.
Okay.
I like to make people angry, then I like to talk through my reason.
Yeah.
So if you don't click away, you might be interested.
Right. Which a couple episodes back, or last episode, one of these episodes recently, we talked about where Adam was born.
Yes. And
we kind of hit on young Earth creation.
Yeah, we kind of poked at it a little bit.
Yeah, because there's timelines that there are some that are very clear.
Yeah.
And then some that are very not clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think this is one that when we look at what the text is saying, it's very not clear.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree
honest.
with that.
Yeah. And I think for part of it, so like the way that we got to the 6,000 number was, I can't remember the guy's name. Some dude, some old guy.
John Drake?
Yeah.
No.
Mr. Earth.
Drake created the dispensationalist theology.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry.
But he probably went down this path too.
Well, typically if you're a dispensationalist, you would also believe in young Earth.
Yeah, that follows.
It's a cross on the pie chart.
I know that there's an exception, and the one watching this who's mad is the exception.
Yeah. He's like, Drake's my dad.
He's my dad.
He's my dad.
Actually, comment. That's interesting. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, please be on the podcast.
That would be very interesting.
You would definitely be a guest.
Yes.
I feel like his son has to be alive. Anyways, we should try and figure that out and reach out.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Dispensationalism's not that old.
No,
it's hard to say, but it's not that old.
It's young?
It's pretty young.
Is it as young as the Earth?
No, it's a little older. I mean, a little younger.
The Earth is a little older.
Wait.
At least one day older.
Can we at least say this?
Maybe.
The Earth precedes humanity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can say that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think the Bible does say that.
It definitely does.
That actually, it's explicit.
Yeah.
In Genesis 2.
It's just like, hey, by the way, things happen first.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically they got that from taking the genealogies.
Okay.
And the numbers, and they just kind of added those together.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, that's how old the Earth is.
Right.
And we're like, okay, cool, but you're assuming a lot of things.
Well, and yeah, right. And what's the first age that we get?
They start with Adam. And they're like, oh, how old was he when he had...
Who's they?
The people that believe it's 6,000 years.
No, I mean, what does the Bible start with? So the Bible is they.
Oh, yeah.
Because they start with it. We have a desk tonight, so I have a literal Bible here.
It's kind of fun.
So we can use the actual
Actually, we
Bible.
should just read the actual Bible.
I thought you were going to.
I didn't know we had one with us.
Yeah, there's one right here.
I just wrote it down on my notes.
This is the NASB, so it's the most direct, harsh translation.
I like that.
I don't know why I opened to Genesis 2. I skipped page 1.
We're going to be there.
Okay.
Well, so first, before we dive into this, because we're about to get to, actually...
Genesis chapter 1?
Chapter 1.
Okay.
Right there.
Is it harder to read directly from this now instead of just from your phone?
At home, I still read out of a physical.
Yeah. It's less distracting.
Yeah, it feels more intentional.
For sure.
And I like the tactile side.
Yeah, like if you're Zooming or Skyping with somebody.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do versus if you're sitting right in front of them.
Yeah, you're kind of limited more in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
Gen 1.
These 6,000-year-old people.
Yeah.
Let me finish making
some
fun of them.
old people.
Yeah. They're very old. They're as old as the Earth.
Here, I'll hold this open.
Oh, thank you.
This is a newer Bible, so it's not staying open very well.
But it's the main thing with that too that I kind of want to poke at it for a second before I go into the rest of this.
Yeah.
And this is what we talked about in the last episode. Is like there is that assumption that Adam was created on day 6. Where it's just like, well, the Bible doesn't explicitly say yes or no to that.
It also doesn't say Adam.
That's what I mean. And so it's like we see where it says like, oh, he created men. Humanity.
Right.
And then he created the man. Or he took the man.
He took the man, right.
And so it's like, well, maybe this man was like 4 generations old.
Yeah.
Or maybe all this happened at the same time.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, it's like, we also don't know, did he take the man right away and put him in the garden? Or was he there for a while? Then he's like, oh, by the way, come to this garden. It's like, we don't know one way or the other because the Bible doesn't explicitly say.
Sure.
So it's like there's a lot of openness to interpretation inside of that.
Yeah, true.
So all that to say, it's like if we want to say Adam's the starting point for the age of the Earth, that's not a very good one because we don't know when he started.
Correct, and we don't actually get his birthday. What we get is when he had his 3rd son.
Yeah,
which is like, who knows?
Yeah, it could have been.
Anytime. Right, and the tricky thing too is like some people would argue that there's also a particular theology that would say that Cain was actually the seed of Satan, which would be the first, would technically be the first Antichrist.
That's interesting.
And Abel would be the first savior.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
But the savior dies, and the Antichrist lives and is cursed on the earth. You get that from Cain and Abel, the first 2 people.
That's actually pretty fascinating. Yeah.
But it's not, again, not the first 2 people. It's
right.
Just the first, it's the first 2 people named out of Adam and Eve.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
But we don't know all the other people's names.
They don't tell us. It doesn't seem to be like important to the writer.
And who they were and when they were is speculative as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I'll say, but I mean that's I'll say it now. That's the one thing with especially Genesis, where I think we need to look at, okay, what is the author trying to tell us,
Right.
and not what do we want out of this?
Yeah.
And there are things we can pull from it, which is what we're going to look at. Is like, all right, what are some of the clues that we are given?
Sure.
But overall, it's like, okay, what's like the actual purpose of what he's writing?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
why he's writing what he's writing?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's start at the very beginning.
Let's do it.
Story time with Paul and Stephen. So Genesis 1:1.
Okay.
It says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters." So we're going to stop there.
Okay.
Believe it or not. We didn't make it very far.
No.
Um,
There's a lot more to read.
Oh, there's actually a lot more books.
Sorry.
But yeah,
Sorry to derail you.
So there's just like a ton right there.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so if this is our setup, this is the very beginning, so it's setting context.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so what's all happening here? And so for me, it's like, okay, so
yeah, Genesis 1:1 to 1:2.
Yeah.
What happened?
It's pretty jam-packed.
It's a whole book.
So the first thing for me is like, so it says, I'm sorry, I'm reading.
No, you're good.
Like,
Lots of reading tonight.
What did I write? So it says we have the earth. That's way too far.
From the beginning.
I'm not used to having a laptop. That's
I know.
It's kind of a fun experience.
And if you're just listening, then you can't see all the things going on.
Yeah, my brain
it looks
is
way
just
different
smoking.
tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Smoking brain.
So first,
Okay.
I found my spot.
There we go.
So first we see that before day one.
Yeah.
Because day one starts with, then God said, "Let there be light."
Sure.
So before day one, God created the heavens and the earth. So the question is, what did the earth look like?
Yeah.
And so luckily it tells us.
It does.
It says it's without form and void.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
So thankfully it tells us it was waters.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what the Spirit of God was hovering over.
Yes.
So like, oh, okay. So in the beginning, God created the earth, which was basically just water.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, is that what it's telling us?
Mm.
So,
yeah, and I hadn't thought about this before, but the concept of birth. Birth happens in water.
Yeah.
And so there's something being formed in water.
Yeah.
During physical birth.
Yeah.
So we talk about this all the time, but it's like everything mimics the way that God created the order of how things are created and how things work and function. Yeah. So it's all mimicking that. So I hadn't really thought about that before, but if you read Genesis 1:1, 1:2, it reads very much like a woman giving birth. Yeah. Which, yeah.
No, it's very true. Yeah. And we'll definitely talk more about that too, because there's an interesting cycle that I think we see inside of Scripture that it's this like cyclical process that it follows. Yeah. Which is an interesting if we place that onto this text, which we'll get to that. Okay. Because that's just so fun.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So Genesis never records God creating water during the 6 days. So the waters appear to already exist when the ordering of creation begins. Okay. Which is kind of what we see here in some of the language. Right. So in Genesis 1:1 through 2, we have the earth being totally water, and there was darkness over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering. So what's all that for? Right. So first, and this one we have talked about before in a lot, which is the idea of the deep. Okay. And so the word translated here is the Hebrew tahom. So in ancient Near East, this word referred to the primordial ocean. Oh.
The primordial ocean.
It's a fun word, right?
It is.
So that's like the chaotic waters believed to exist before ordered creation. Okay. Which is exactly what we see here. Yeah. So similar ideas appear in other cultures, which we've talked about that in our myth series. Yeah. And a lot of that is the Babylonian myth that speaks about Tiamat.
Yep.
And so that's a sea chaos goddess.
Yeah.
And then
Tiamat.
a lot of creation stories often describe a cosmic ocean that must be subdued or fought.
Okay.
So what's interesting here is because the Hebrew word to home shares a common ancient root with Tiamat.
Yes.
And it also is referring to this like a same thing. So it seems like in here, the Bible is drawing on these ancient myths.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying stealing or borrowing.
No.
But it's playing off of them.
Right.
And it's saying that God ordered and defeated this chaos, but he did it by speaking, not by fighting it.
Yes.
And it's like, and that's a very important distinction that the Bible is talking about. And that's, since I just said that too, I'll go ahead and say this. And
Yeah.
we've said this before.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's also looking at like, okay, what's the Bible trying to do?
Right.
And it's not trying to create something new.
Sure.
It is trying to correct what has been, that needs correction.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, here's all these myths that have been written before the Bible.
Yes.
But the Bible's not saying it was written first.
Right.
The Bible's just saying, no, you guys got it wrong.
Right.
This is what happened.
Yeah, one could say that the Bible is bringing order to chaos.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Which is beautiful.
Yes.
To think about that way.
Yes. So it's basically saying like, okay, so Moses is the one that's writing all this stuff down.
Yeah.
He's recording these things and the conversations he's having with Yahweh. And in the process of doing that, obviously the earth wasn't like a day older than Moses.
Yeah.
So that being said, there's already all of these civilizations. There's already all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's histories within all of these civilizations. And so they have all of their own ideals.
Mm-hmm.
And they have what we would argue based off of really what the text seems to imply, that all of these other nations were going after other gods.
Yeah.
And those other gods not being like fake things that they made up based off of some antidote of trying to stay alive, but instead that they were actual beings that were giving information to these people.
Yes.
And they were receiving something in return.
Yeah.
So then the biblical story shows us the dispersion of these individuals. And in the process of that, we go, all right, well, when we come to like the text and Moses is writing the creation story, he's obviously writing it into a time where there's a lot of things to set straight.
Yes.
And Moses and the people of God are essentially representing and bringing back the what the people of God are supposed to look like on the earth, or what humanity is supposed to look like on the earth. So it's setting the record straight.
Yeah, because even if we look at it from post the flood, all information is being passed now to the future generations from Noah and his family.
Right.
And we see that Noah and his family get kind of messed up pretty quick.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, from there, if they're the only ones that hold like the accurate stories of like, this is what happened, and like, this is how creation happened, this is what it looked like, and these are the things.
Yes.
And then you have people that are seeking to cause chaos.
Right.
And other things that are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it would make sense that they would be like, oh, that didn't actually happen that way.
Sure.
I was actually the one who did that.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Well, and then you have things like what's the Oracle of Delphi?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you have these random people sitting on top of a hole in the earth, receiving things that these priests are translating into poems, and you're like, well, everybody is trying to seek the ancient knowledge.
Yes.
And they're just going to believe whatever they get.
Yeah.
Because that's what they tell us they did.
Yeah, and even when you look at it from these other gods, it's like, well, they're older than Noah.
Right.
And so it's like, oh, they have more ancient knowledge.
Fair.
Even though it's wrong because it's self-satisfying.
Yes.
Um,
It's not the truth, it's a bending of the truth.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But they could make that argument of like, oh, I'm actually way older than Noah, so I know better than him.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, the only reason to say all this is like it makes sense that there would be these diversions
yeah.
from different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Bible is here to say like, hey, this is actually the truth.
Yeah.
And so it often can play off of these other cultural ideas
Yes.
because it's doing that intentionally.
Right.
It's saying, oh, you guys think it's this way.
Yeah.
This is actually what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. So then
there's also another interesting reference here, which is darkness
okay.
inside these verses.
Okay.
And it says so the reference to darkness is this continued idea of chaos and unordered spaces.
Right.
So chaos ruled in this area because it was not yet ordered.
Mm.
And so then we see the Spirit of God hovering over the face of the waters.
Yes.
And this gives us the image of expectancy.
Right.
So like this is the imagery and the context that the writer is trying to give us.
Mm-hmm.
So to paint this image of like, well, what happened before God ordered it?
I wonder,
what did it look like?
I've never done a study on this, but I wonder if the language of the Spirit of God coming over Mary in the Immaculate Conception is calling back to creation.
That would be kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be, I don't think that would be too far-fetched just off the top of my head.
Yeah, just as a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it would be
it's
written...
that same idea. Even with this, it's that chaos isn't going to win.
Right.
But like there is the Spirit who's ready to create new life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's so this image and other places that we see a little bit more like direct that I looked at. I didn't look at the Mary one. That's an interesting one. I would be interested to look into that more.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But the ones that came to mind for me was Deuteronomy 32:11.
Okay.
So this is describing an eagle hovering over its young. And then I think even more similar, especially for this specific situation,
yeah,
is Noah's flood.
Oh, yeah.
So we have the post with the dove. And it's that same idea of this representation of expectancy and rebirth.
Well, it's a
book creation.
Yeah, it's almost like a bookend.
Yeah.
It's like pretty quickly we go from there are these waters that life comes from, and then the waters cover back up and reset.
Yeah.
So the flood is like a recreation. It's going back to the beginning, and it's shuffling it back up.
It's like resetting it.
Yeah, it's making it formless again.
Yes.
In order to reform it.
Yeah.
Which is why it makes sense that God says, I'll never flood the earth again.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes Noah's flood so significant.
Right. Yeah, because very quickly he is undoing creation.
Yes.
And before he undoes creation, he says, I'm sorry I ever made it.
Yeah.
Which is tough after saying it was good. Or orderly.
He's like, oh, this is useful. No, it's not.
Well, and we've talked about the idea that like when he says, and it was good.
Yeah.
That it's more synonymous with, and it was orderly.
Yes.
And that it was in order, which then that reads a little bit more true to the Hebrew and leading into the flood of going like, well, people and beings have undone the order that I've set in place.
Yeah.
So I'm going to crash it, pull it apart in order for it to be formed back together, hopefully to prevent the disorder again. Yeah.
And at the I guess the least case of it is the things that are creating disorder.
Yes.
Let's get rid of them.
Remove those.
Let's purge all the disorder from the earth.
Yes.
And let's try to reorder it.
Is that what the purge is about? Still have never seen that and will never see that.
I actually have never seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen parts of it.
So you've seen it?
Well, it's
Just not
like
in
someone
its
had it on
entirety.
and I walked in. I was like, I don't really want to
No
watch
thanks.
that. Yeah. Do
No
you have
thanks.
anything else to watch, perhaps?
Little Mermaid?
Do you have The Little Mermaid?
I would prefer that.
But even so, like this idea of deep waters, going back to that,
Yes.
that's a common theme throughout Scripture as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean Genesis 6-9, we have, which is the flood. We have the Red Sea crossing in Exodus.
Yes.
We have Psalm 74, and then we even have Jesus calming the storm in the Gospels.
Oh yeah, who is this man that even the wind and the waves
Yeah,
would obey him?
because like here they are over these deep waters.
Yes.
And they're troubled because it's like, oh, there's a storm coming.
Particularly
Chaos will take us over.
Yes, and the waters seen as like the sea seen as a gateway to the underworld.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's just that same idea. And then so that's where I think this pattern is we have chaos waters,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have God restrains them,
Yes.
and then life emerges from it.
Yeah.
And so we see that especially with the flood, where it's like,
Yeah.
all right, here's some chaos,
Yeah.
and then God subdues the water,
Yes.
and then life reemerges,
Yes.
like a new creation comes up.
Yeah.
And that's the same idea we see here in Genesis 1.
Yeah. It's true.
So interestingly,
Echoing themes.
it loves to echo.
The echosphere. We haven't talked about that in a
we
while.
haven't brought that up in a while. I would love to see that on like a hat or a shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
The echosphere.
Let's do it.
That would be great.
I'm down for
That's
that.
our merch drop. But so I mentioned Psalm 74.
Yeah.
So let's just look at that one.
Okay.
So actually, let me just pull it up.
Let me
Jamie,
analog
pull it up.
Let me analog pull it up. Who's
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Oh, Jamie.
Psalm 74.
Brother Stephen.
Brother Stephen, please pull that up. Here it is. I found it.
Thank you. And I'm even going to jump a little bit here.
Jump.
So this is starting in verse 12.
Okay.
And it says, "Yet God is my king from of old, who works deeds of deliverance in the midst of the earth. You divided the sea by your strength. You broke the heads of the sea monsters in the waters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan. You gave him his food for the creatures of the wilderness. You broke open springs and torrents. You dried up ever-flowing streams. Yours is the day, yours is also the night. You have prepared the light and the sun. You have established all the boundaries of the earth. You have made summer and winter."
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really interesting things in here,
Yeah.
but they seem to echo creation.
Yeah. And one of the things that I don't think that we don't teach enough or talk about enough is like, I'm reminded because going through Judges recently, realizing that Deborah in one of the Judges, when Israel has a victory over an enemy, her first response is to pull Israel together and turn that victory into a moment of worship and to call out all the things and praise God for delivering them out of the enemy's hands and delivering them. And basically what she does in that moment is she takes a real-time thing and she lays it into a song of praise and worship. And what the Psalms are, just simply put, is moments of individuals or song leaders, worship leaders, whether that's David or that one was a miscal of Asaph.
Yes.
Which is like, a musician of Asaph.
Yeah.
So like the idea is like someone that is musical is taking things that are true of the worldview of Hebrews.
Yes.
And going back and praising God for what he has done, what he is doing and what he will do. And so a lot of times when they go into these moments of worship and praise, they're being very descriptive of things that happened in creation from the foundations. They're calling all the way back to like, Lord, you were faithful even from the beginning, and then describing like in detail things that were like, whoa, that's not in Genesis.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
well, but it was part of their worldview. So whether
Yeah.
it was how Genesis was described and passed down, the way that they understood more detail to the story,
Yeah.
the way that those stories were actually passed down from generation to generation were probably a little bit more grand in explanation, a little bit more colorful in explanation. And so we get a lot of that in the Psalms.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily, the Psalms aren't necessarily something to build a doctrine off of, as far as like these are specific details, because they are songs. So there's creative liberty in the poetic form.
Yeah.
But it is giving us certain things and using specific names where it's like, well, I don't know that they would use a name like that unless that was a name that they used often in relationship to this.
Right.
So I think in that way, it's kind of interesting because essentially the Psalms are giving us a more colorful description of who God has been from the beginning.
Yeah. Because, I mean, even in this, it's not, the psalmist isn't trying to tell you that there was a Leviathan that God crushed his head.
No.
But it's painting that picture of like this being represents chaos.
Yes.
And it represents the waters and the deep waters. So let me use that to say this.
But it is
because
reinforcing.
That paints a bigger picture.
Right.
Yeah, it's more evocative.
And that's what we've talked about before with the Psalms, is the idea that like they're not just coming up with random things.
Right. Yeah.
So like their baseline, it's like when you would use a metaphor, like the whole concept is like, if you're using a metaphor, you're trying to go, you can't really comprehend this thing because you haven't seen it or experienced it. And so I'm going to use something I know you've seen and experienced in order to describe something you haven't seen or experienced.
Yes.
Or can't fully perceive of. So let me put some understanding to it. So again, the things that are in the Psalms, if those things aren't actual references that are helpful to the listener, then they're void. There's no point in saying it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I'm going to describe something that you've never had before, and I describe it with something else you've never had before, then I've not properly communicated anything at all to you.
Yes.
And that's not what the Psalms are doing.
Yeah. So they're trying to tell you based on context. Yeah. And I think that goes back to that similar idea of like the corrective nature of what a lot of the writers of scripture are doing. Yeah. Especially when it comes to Genesis, is they're not telling you, let me break this down scientifically for you of how this happened. No. He's just like, hey, this is what everyone else is saying has happened. Right. But let me correct the letter here. Yeah. And so because of that, it's not going to give you every individual detail. Right. Because it doesn't need to. Yeah. It's like, you know the story. I can make this reference, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, exactly.
And this is the part you have messed up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So Paul, how old is the earth?
Oh, we're getting there. Okay. Well, so I want to jump to another place. Okay. Which is Jeremiah 4.
Oh, okay.
We're jumping all the way around. I want to.
Oh, you're already there.
Yeah,
nice.
I got prepared.
Nice.
I want to try to build this this narrative in our head, or this image, and look at these clues.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's like, so far, when we look at Genesis 1, it's telling us a lot of information right off the rip.
It is.
Of like, okay, so there is this chaotic, useless, unformed thing. Right. And then God said, I'm going to order it. Yeah. And then we see in the Psalms, the psalmist is also drawing on that idea of like, there was this utterly chaotic thing, and then God brought order to it. Yes. And so it's like, what that's doing right there is, based on the timeline for me, is like, it doesn't give us any definites. Okay. But it's creating this image of context. Yeah. So like, what did it look like before God ordered it? Mm. And we know that in the beginning He created it. Yeah. But it didn't have use. Didn't have any order to it.
Right. So there was creation, but not purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll definitely talk more about that in a second here. Okay. But so Jeremiah 4, specifically 23 through 26. So let me go ahead and read that here for us.
I like it.
he says, I looked on the earth, and behold, it was formless and void.
Heard that before.
And to the heavens they had no light. I looked on the mountains, and behold, they were quaking, and all the hills moved to and fro. I looked, and behold, there was no man, and all the birds of the heavens had fled. I looked, and behold, the fruitful land was a wilderness, and all its cities were pulled down before the Lord, before his fierce anger. So, let me add some context to what Jeremiah is talking about here first, before we look into that. So Jeremiah is describing the coming destruction of Judah by Babylon.
Okay.
But the prophet here is doing this by borrowing the language from Genesis, from creation. But it's interesting because there's some added language here that we didn't have before from Genesis.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I think it's really interesting because Jeremiah isn't telling us about the world in Genesis.
Okay.
But he's showing us what it looks like when creation collapses back into chaos.
Sure.
So it's kind of this reverse order.
Yeah.
But he's still using that same language to describe the coming destruction.
Okay.
In like an unordering way.
Yeah. And using language that they've heard before.
Yeah.
And so he's actually taking it back to the beginning and saying that this coming thing is like the original chaos.
Yeah. That's
interesting.
I think that's kind of fascinating.
It is.
Yeah. And then the other one that I wanted to look at here was Isaiah 45:18.
Okay.
And Isaiah, he liked to write a lot. Oh, he's actually back this way.
He liked to write a lot. Isaiah, the guy that liked to write a lot.
That guy.
I think Isaiah saw a lot of things.
He did. Yeah.
So imagine if we got everything he ever saw or thought. Be a lot.
But I love how, because isn't he the prophet who is just like sitting by a tree naked for like weeks? And everyone's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'll tell you about it later."
You gotta wait a little longer.
Yeah, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
It's like
I have more to suffer.
Yeah. So
now, I think that was Jeremiah.
Oh, maybe that was Jeremiah.
Because he's the suffering.
You're right.
Prophet. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it mixed up sometimes.
Same, and I'm not even confident saying that. So
everyone's like, "That was Ezekiel."
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, Ezekiel spent most of his time in heaven.
Yeah, he did. He was not with us.
No, he was not with us.
So Isaiah 45:18, it says, "For thus says the Lord, who created the heavens, he is the God who formed the earth and made it. He established it and did not create it a waste place, but formed it to be inhabited." So, let me add some context there too.
Yeah, so creation with purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's the part of it. The passage is about God's sovereignty over creation. God, this is kind of what he's talking about. Yeah, throughout this section, God raising Cyrus the Great to restore Israel, and God declaring that he alone created the world. So the main point here that Isaiah is making in this passage is that God created the world with purpose, not meaninglessness.
Right.
So here's the question that it brings up for me.
Okay.
And here's the reason why I brought us down this rabbit hole.
Sure, yeah.
Was to bring us all the way back to Genesis 1.
Okay.
And this is the confusing part, is that Genesis says that the earth was created formless.
Right.
But Isaiah says it was created not formless.
Okay.
So which is it?
Does it say not formless?
Or says
not without purpose?
Not without... Let me read it one more time.
Because that's different.
He says, in the way it's translated here, it says waste place. But it actually, in Hebrew, it is the same word.
Okay.
I believe it's tohu, I think is.
Sounds right to me.
Tofu. But so it actually is the same Hebrew word.
In the beginning, God creates tofu.
And all the vegans celebrate. I knew it.
So there were vegans before the creation of the earth.
To witness God's good creation of tofu.
I love this. Okay.
So we see this kind of like potential issue here.
Yeah.
So it begs the question, for me at least, is the Bible contradicting itself, or did it become formless? Did the earth become formless?
Okay.
So that's the question that I'm kind of posing here a little bit.
Yeah.
So the Bible, as we've talked about, it follows these patterns. It loves its patterns and its symbolism and cycles.
Yes.
And so we often see this pattern, which is creation, chaos, and then recreation. But Genesis starts with chaos.
Yes.
And so I guess the question then is like, is it breaking the pattern? Because the Bible likes to do that to make a point sometimes.
Sure.
Or are we simply picking up in the middle of a cycle? Are we picking up in the middle of the pattern?
Okay. As far as Genesis is concerned?
As far as Genesis is concerned.
Yeah, it's almost like the way that Isaiah talks about it is in a way that is corrective of going, well, God created it and left it and then came back to it.
Mm.
And that's where there's a lot of different speculation in that. And
Yes.
potentially could be a lot of speculation in that is like the movement between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2, and people talk about another, like the whole Rahab theory and
Sure.
the concept of there being like another planet that was destroyed and all of those things. Well, none of that's actually in there.
Yeah.
So like that's fine, but it's not
Right.
actually in the Bible.
Yes.
And even the Psalm passage that would speak to that is like, okay, like maybe, but it's not explicit.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the correction of that, of going like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly how Isaiah would have been speaking to that.
Yeah, and so
Because let me say this to
please.
conclude that the fact that I just said nothing at all is just simply the idea that like the way I've always looked at it is that it's a little bit like God created clay before he molded it. So the idea that like he created the materials first and then put them together.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thought, is like, because if you've ever built anything, you either have to like go and get the materials or you have to actually make the materials.
Yeah.
Like if you're building something, if you're building a wooden table, you're either going to the store and buying the wood, or you're literally going and making the wood by cutting down a tree, milling it, drying it out, like the whole process of that.
Yeah.
So like I've always looked at it like that. That like what we're getting is this idea that like God creates the tree, and the process of the waters and hovering over the waters is this process of cutting the tree, making like building it into the materials where it's going to be, drying it out, getting it ready, and then assembling the table.
I see. Yeah.
That's kind of how I always have read that poetic language of Genesis 1.
Yeah. Which I guess I think, especially in light of some of this, I see it a little bit differently now in the idea of, especially the symbolism and how it's used of darkness in the deep.
Okay.
Where it's like it never has a good or purposeful connotation.
Sure.
And I think that's where,
like, there's already activity going on.
Yeah.
And so there's a correction to activity going on.
And I think that's my question to it. So it's funny, like coming to the end of this is like, I don't have really an answer for it, because the Bible again doesn't tell us.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I spoiled it. But I think what it does is kind of open up for me some more things that we can question or look at.
Yeah.
Which is, on one hand, the writer obviously wasn't interested in telling us how old the earth was because he didn't care.
Yeah.
That's not why he wrote the Genesis account of creation.
Sure.
But what we do see is, hey, there was something not good here.
Yes.
There was something that was disorderly.
Yes.
And God creates order. That's his nature, to create things that have purpose.
Yes.
And so here we start in a place, and there's even other, especially when you look at like modern Hebrew translations of the text that add vowels.
Okay.
there's other ways to interpret even the first sentence of Genesis,
That makes sense.
which is a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
That we don't really need to get into right now. But for me, it's like, okay, so God doesn't create something that doesn't have purpose.
Right.
He creates things with purpose.
Yes.
But the writer opens us up with something that has no purpose.
Seemingly.
Right. Based on like how that language is used throughout Scripture. Interestingly, because even when we look at Job, God has a long spot in there, where he's correcting and talking to Job,
right?
And one of the most interesting parts for me in that section is when he talks about Behemoth and Leviathan.
Yes,
which is funny that it's Leviathan.
It is, yeah.
And it's like, here are these beings that seemingly cause destruction on the earth,
right?
Where we would look at it and say, oh, those things are bad.
Yeah.
But God is over here saying, no, actually, those things have purpose in my creation.
Right.
What you say it causes destruction and it's bad, but I say what it's doing actually causes good things. In the same way we like natural forest fires. We would look at something like that and say, oh, that's bad.
Right.
But as we've looked more into those, we're like, oh, these are actually good things.
Yes.
Because it allows for new birth inside of the earth.
Yeah.
And so for me, even with that, is my takeaway from this and how I'm thinking of it.
Yeah.
Is what Genesis is opening us into is that flood moment in Noah. That same symbolism where it's like, hey, we're starting here, and God judged something.
Yeah.
And now he's starting over and he's putting us in it.
Interesting. So you're reading Genesis 1 in light of Genesis 6?
Yeah.
That makes sense. It particularly because if you like the language of Leviathan and the beasts, like when you look at the RSV or you look at other translations that kind of point to in Genesis 1 the creation of wild beasts or things that are a little bit more extravagant than kind of our subdued, even the NASB here, that like it's really like God created these things and they were causing chaos, or he created these things to cause chaos in order to set the stage for order.
And that would be like, to contradict myself even there. It's like, well, if it's judgment, then God did use the language of Leviathan, these deep waters, to create order. In the same way that he flooded the earth. I mean, in Genesis 6, he flooded the earth in Genesis 1.
True. Yeah, I mean, well, or it began from the waters.
Which is also possible.
Yeah, it's a little more, I think that's a little more consistent with what it is. Like in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And here's the thing about that as well. It's the heavens, it's a plural, and the earth. And if you know anything about, like we've talked about this a little bit, but like the Apostle Paul mentions being caught up into the third heaven. And so there was this understanding that the sky was the first heaven. It was the heavens above. So God, in the beginning, God created the heavens above and the earth. It doesn't mean that he created his throne dwelling. Yeah. Because he's already dwelling there. And like we've talked about before, the earth being this specific creation for humanity to rule and reign. Mm-hmm. And if it is that, we actually don't have an indication in the Bible of the creation of God's dwelling place. That's not in here. Yeah. So like we don't know what the creation of God's dwelling place, what that looked like. Yeah. We just know the foundations of the earth. Mm-hmm. And that's not ethereal. It's literally the earth. Yeah. So it's like, that's yeah, so in that way, it's the heavens and the earth. It's not creation of all things ever.
Yes.
So it's not making this massive jump.
Right.
It's going, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth and the heavens above. The earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. So when God created it, it was this formless piece that had this deep darkness in it, and he then starts to create order, and the first thing he does is let there be light. So the ordering begins with light over darkness, which is because what we know scientifically, going back to the beginning of the conversation, is that life does not exist as we know it without the presence of light.
Yeah.
However, there are living things that exist without light or in the depths.
Yeah.
Case in point, Finding Nemo.
I knew you'd find a way.
Or Luca, where his uncle comes up from, and he's like translucent.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird thing. But the thing is even the things in the deep are the light, like their life is a byproduct of light existing. And if Jesus is the light which illuminates the city of God in Revelation, then the presence of God is the presence of light itself or life itself. So in that, in the creation, there can be an existence of life from the source, which is illumination.
Yeah.
But nowhere in here do I see a date.
That's the thing. And that's even like with everything I'm trying to, like what I'm bringing up here, and like jumping around to, it's like, it actually gives us a lot of different information. That doesn't point to an exact time.
Correct.
And even inside of here, because that was the other thing, we got a couple minutes I can get into it.
Yeah.
The best that I can remember, because I didn't write it down.
Okay.
Was when you look at so our translation is in the beginning.
Right.
And back in like the Middle Ages time, when they added vowels to the Hebrew Bibles.
Yes.
Because before that, Dead Sea Scrolls and all those other manuscripts, they don't have vowels.
Well, in fact, if you are Hebrew and you go through a bar mitzvah, the readings you have to do from the Torah, you have to do them in Hebrew without the vowels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not easy.
That sounds hard.
But they don't read that. Like if you go to a synagogue now, they're not reading most of them aren't reading from the Torah without vowels.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. But it's so much harder to read it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make it really hard. And so this is the one where I can't remember which one is which.
Okay.
So don't quote me on this part.
Okay.
But there is a part where if, and this is coming from Hebrew scholars that study this language.
Yeah.
So not from me, because I don't know.
Sure.
Where they say if this is a translation that you would want directly, it's either ba or be, and I can't remember which. I don't know if you've heard this.
No.
So I'm gonna pick one, and hopefully it's the right one.
Okay.
So if you wanted it to, like, without a doubt, say in the beginning, you would put ba reshit.
Okay.
But what we have inside of Hebrew translations, ever since the Middle Ages when they added vowels, was be reshit.
Okay.
Which could very accurately be translated to when God began to create the heavens and the earth.
Oh, I have heard that.
Okay, and what makes that interesting is it actually changes the syntax of how we read Genesis 1 through 3.
Yeah, because it's walking into the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
Which was your point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it again is more true. That's like what we're talking about. It's this idea of like, oh, and then because again, the Bible is God's word to us, helping us understand why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing, and for whom we're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't concern things that, like, it goes back to it goes forward to Genesis 3.
Yeah.
Where it's trying to seek knowledge that is not beneficial to us because it's not knowledge that we need to do the task ahead of us.
Yes.
So like, it's not important for me to learn all the details of astrophysics if I'm going to be a professional baseball player.
Right.
Like, it's not important.
Yeah.
So it's in fact a distraction and a waste of my time, and makes me potentially a worse baseball player.
Yeah, because you're sacrificing time to practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's that idea of like, he's not trying to give us how he made cherubim.
Right.
Like, that's not, and for what purpose? Like, it mentions it and it's like, oh yeah, they're guardians, but it's like, but are there cherub that do other things? The Bible doesn't tell us that, but that doesn't mean there aren't.
Right.
And it's not telling us this is all they do.
Yeah.
So it's like, we need to heed that and go, this is telling us what I need to know.
Yes.
And it's not telling me a lot of things.
Yeah.
Therefore, I don't need to know it. It doesn't mean I can't explore it in conversation. It doesn't even mean that it's off limits to know. It just simply means that it's not, if you needed to know it, you would know it.
Yeah.
And if you want to explore it, you can, but you're potentially not going to find the answer you're looking for, or the answer you're looking for may potentially distract you from things you actually do know.
Yeah.
And that's where the danger comes.
Yeah.
Is when we say, this is definitively what is true. The Bible doesn't say the earth started on this particular day. But if we say it did start on that particular day, that could derail us from things down the line that it says are actually true.
Yeah.
It's like when we did the conversation on Methuselah. And if you type in Methuselah into Google, it actually tells you when Methuselah lived.
Yeah.
It's like 3,000 something BC. And you're like, well, how do they know? Where do they get that from? And you can do generations backwards from like Jesus.
And the downside to that is it's assuming that, one, the genealogies are complete.
Right.
And that we have all, like, by being complete, that we have them all.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily argue that the completion of Adam to Jesus is not complete.
Yeah.
But specific timelines are not,
and that's
necessarily valuable. But who begot who?
Yeah.
Is valuable.
I think that is valuable, and that's valuable.
Yeah.
And I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
Because I guess my point even with that is, we've even knowingly throughout history, we've seen people change the year.
Yes.
Because they want to rule in a certain year because it's symbolic.
Yes.
And so a king will be like, it's not the year 800 anymore, it's the year 1000.
Right.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, yeah. So.
Yeah. So I guess all that to say.
How old is the earth?
Is that, to summarize what you just said real quick is.
Yeah.
The writer here is not interested in telling us how old the earth is.
Right.
What he's more interested in is, hey, this is the guy, this is Yahweh who ordered chaos.
Right.
Who brought order to chaos.
Right. Yeah, he didn't order chaos.
No, he's like, hey, can I get an order of chaos?
Let me get a side of Leviathan on my chaos.
Yeah, I'll have some of those curly fries too. But yeah, so then when it comes to the question, as you've asked, is how old is the earth?
Yeah. Only God knows. 3, 2, 1.